Hello, book lovers, and welcome to day 16 of 30, where I am talking about my top 30 all-time favorite books in honor of my 30th birthday. Today, we are going to be talking about Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This is the first book that I read by this author. I have also read Uprooted and enjoyed it, but this definitely is my favorite work of hers. It is the kind of book that has really stuck with me because of the strong female characters that are present in this story. Our main character, I would argue, is Miriam, and she's the daughter of a moneylender, a very incompetent moneylender, or I don't want to say incompetent, soft-hearted moneylender, and people have been taking advantage of him, and so his family has been living in poverty. However, I believe he or her mother becomes ill and she decides to take over, and she's very good at her job. So good, in fact, that people say that she can spin silver into gold. And unfortunately for her, this rumor spreads a little too far, and the king of the Starks, yes, finds her because his people need gold in order to survive. And she's like, well, I can't actually spin silver into gold, so you just kidnapped me for nothing. On top of that, we are following two other characters. The first one is Irina, and she is a noblewoman who is to be married to a Tsar. And unfortunately for her, the Tsar is actually possessed by a fire demon. And the final girl that we're following is Wanda. And Wanda lives with her brothers with their abusive father. However, she finds employment with Miriam and is able to help herself and her brothers escape from that life. All of our characters' paths kind of cross each other because of the magical elements of this story, specifically that Irina actually is able to spin silver into gold, which obviously is something that Miriam needs because she has this deal with the Stark King. Now, one of the things I absolutely adore about the story, actually there's a lot of things I adore about the story, hence why it's one of my favorites, is we have these male characters who are underestimating these female characters. We have the Stark King, we have the Tsar, as well as just Irina's family, male members of the family and court that underestimate her, as well as Wanda's father. And all of them prove that they are the saviors of the story. They are the ones who are going to do what needs to be done more so than anyone else. And just watching these men gain more and more respect for these women and falling in love with them because they start to see just how incredible they are was a lot of fun. Okay, we love to see a man put in his place and to be like, oh, she's way more than I ever imagined, and I love her for that. And that is exactly what you get in this book. I would not say that this is a super romance forward story. However, it is a subplot in Miriam's as well as Irina's story. Wanda, on the other hand, is focused a lot on gaining her independence and her freedom and just kind of growing as a young person. I believe she's the youngest of the three, and she also is just building this new life for her and her brothers, so her relationships are more focused on those familial bonds. I absolutely adored the writing in this story. This is definitely one of those stories that is giving classic fantasy vibes the way that it's written. It's very beautiful, romantic. It definitely has those wintry vibes because the Stark are able to control ice. So this is a great book to read in the winter season. I think that the story just really embodies those classic fantasy vibes, but instead of having those classic damsels in distress, you have the women of the story being essentially the knights in shining armor who have men around them that just need to be rescued. And I really like the flip of that classic trope. So this was just such a fantastic story. If you're looking for a book with really strong female characters, with a interesting magical system that is set within a historical time period, then you definitely need to check out this book. Let me know if you have read Spinning Silver and what you thought of it, and I will see you tomorrow with our next read.